the antithesis to tyranny, it's the antithesis to fascism, to dictatorship, and terror. You can't have a memorial, a dedication for a memorial like this without some somber aspects to it. 5 young men lost their lives and left us way too early. But today, we need to concentrate on the victory in that. We should celebrate the victory, and we should celebrate the marvel in that particular event for those individuals. We know we miss them dearly. We hold their cherished memories close. This particular dedication for this memorial, its inception was when the people of the local community said that they would like to do something for that cherished memory, for those men, for this regiment, for this Marine Corps, for its nation. And General Nicholson, at the time the regimental commander, had a vision. He communicated with the local community, and this is what we have in return. Very much now Brigadier General Nicholson's initiative. He's back with us today from Quantico. General Nicholson was born in Toronto, Canada. He graduated from the Citadel in 1979. He has a bachelor's of science degree in business administration, and he holds a master's degree in science from the U.S. Army Command and General Staff College. He served as a platoon commander and company commander up the street at Horno in 3-1, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines. He's a series and company commander at Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego. He's an amphibious warfare school graduate. He also serves as a platoon commander training officers in the Officer Candidate School. He's a rifle company commander in Lima, 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines, which was subsequently redesignated as Delta, 1st Battalion, 9th Marines. He served as a company officer and an instructor at the United States Naval Academy at Annapolis. Completed the U.S. Army Command and General Staff College in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. From there, he was assigned to the Middle East as a United Nations observer in Palestine. He serves as the executive officer for 2nd Flight Armored Reconnaissance Battalion. In 1997, he assumed the duties of the 2nd Marine Division G3 Operations Officer until taking command of the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines. And while in command of G2, he deployed to the Balkans in 2016. He also served as an executive officer for 2nd Marine Regiment. He graduated from the NATO Defense College in Rome, Italy, and was assigned to the NATO headquarters in Brussels, Belgium. He served as the ground forces planner for the U.S. military delegation to NATO. In July, he reported to the Division G3 at 1st Marine Division at Camp Pendleton in Ramadi. On the morning of September 14th, he assumed command of Regimental Combat Team 1 in Fallujah, and in the afternoon, through a rocket strike, he relinquished command of RCT-5 in Fallujah. He was grievously wounded, and he underwent numerous surgeries, but he returned to Fallujah in December and continued his duties as the Division G3. He took command of 5th Marine Regiment in July, and he took the regiment, the Regimental Combat Team, to Iraq in January to February of 2007. He was promoted to Brigadier General, and he's now the Deputy Commanding General of the Marine Corps Combat Development Command in Quantico, Virginia. His personal awards include the Legion's Merit with a V, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Defense Superior Service Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, Navy Commendation Medal with 2 awards, and the Purple Heart. He has a son who serves in 6th Marines, sister regiment, 5th Marines, based on our service together in Western Europe during World War I, and his wife, Debbie Nicholson, is with us here as well. This time, I would like to introduce you to the man who had this vision and put it all together, Brigadier General Lawrence T. Nicholson.
General Waldhauser, Mayor Eggleston, Mayor Pro Tem Harkey, members of the City Council of Dana Point, distinguished guests, most important members here today are the families, the names of Marines, sailors, and soldiers that appear on this wall. This may sound a little odd, but today is not a day of mourning. And as Colonel Millay mentioned, today is, although somber and reverent, today's a day of celebration. And I'll tell you it's a day of celebration because today we get to honor and celebrate the great lives and the enormous sacrifice of the names that you see upon this magnificent wall. I got to tell you, I've seen Pete Hammer. Where are you, Pete? Pete, how about stand up? I know you're a little hurt right now, but I think Pat Millay is giving me too much credit. We'll talk a little more about the community involvement in this thing, but today is a celebration. We not only celebrate the lives, the sacrifice, the honor, duty, courage, and commitment of the names of the Marine sailors and soldiers on this magnificent memorial, but we celebrate the community that has helped make this event today possible. And I'll tell you, I just am overwhelmed. I have seen photos of this. I am currently stationed in Quantico, Virginia. And Pete's been sending me photos of the progress as this thing has moved along. But I got to tell you, until you stand in front of it, it does take your breath away. And I was not really prepared. I got a little emotional standing in front of this wall today. Not only because I know so many of the names on it, but again, as Mr. Blexman said, it's one thing to know about it, it's another to see the name of a loved one, of a colleague, of a friend on that wall. This is more than just a roster of names carved in stone. This wall, this very simple Texas barrier wall, this memorial, will live long after all of us are gone. Future generations of Marines here at San Mateo, they will marvel at the sacrifice and courage borne by the names on this wall, by the units who participated in this fight. Right now, it's just a little after 11 o'clock at night in Iraq. There are thousands of Marines and soldiers patrolling the streets, performing their daily duties, with which many of us are very familiar. It is a different Iraq today. It is a different Iraq in Al-Anbar. And one of our own battalions, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, the Dark Horse, is in fact back today for their 4th consecutive deployment in Iraq. And as they patrol the streets of Fallujah today, it is a different environment that they have inherited. We hear a lot about the Al-Anbar awakening, the Al-Anbar miracle. I'll tell you, it's not a miracle. The progress in Al-Anbar was born by the heavy load that was accepted by the thousands and thousands of Marines and soldiers who came before them. And while today we are so proud of our Corps and what has been accomplished in Al-Anbar, I will tell you that I think future generations will study what has occurred in Al-Anbar province. It will be studied all across the world as a prototypical example of how to conduct a counterinsurgency successfully. And I think we're already starting to see some evidence of that. You know, this simple design really, as was mentioned, started on the back of a napkin. Sitting around on Chow Hall talking about, okay, what do we do when we get back? We want to do something to honor our beloved fallen comrades. What can we do to really do something significant to honor them? Yeah, we're going to have a memorial service, and we did. And at that memorial service, which so many of you attended up on our parade deck here, we said, and I said boldly, that their sacrifice was not in vain, that they would always be remembered. And we set out to find some way to make that promise hold true. And that's why this is more than just a stone with names carved on it. This will be a lasting tribute and reminder of that great sacrifice that this regiment, the most decorated regiment in our force history, has and continues to bear in this global war on terror. You know, in August of '04, I was at Camp Blue Diamond, and as Pat Millay mentioned, I was the Chief 3 of the 1st Marine Division. We had some high-priced visitors come in from Baghdad. John Latasky was the CG, and as these very senior political and military leaders arrived at Camp Blue Diamond, we gave them the standard command brief. We kind of told them where we were, what we were doing, and I remember very plainly and clearly, and George Bristol and so many others were there with me at that time, Gerald Dunford. But I remember that the ambassador at the time and the senior leadership, military leadership said, hey, look, guys, we don't expect you to solve all on board. This is way too complex. This is way too difficult. You know, we're not looking for any miracles. All we want you, the Marines, to do, just please try to keep a lid on it. Please try